Hello and welcome to another Loadstone tutorial. Today I'm going to talk about the navigation screen, or at least parts of the navigation screen. That is the main screen where you will do most of your interacting with Loadstone, where you can find points and see what's around you, etc. Basically the first screen that you see when it starts up. So I'll go over how the screen looks.
5 of navigation, 5 of 5 bars. Actions.
Okay.
Navigation. Heading.
There's the heading.
Actions. Button.
Actions. That is a menu of some of the miscellaneous actions that are not too often used, but are needed sometimes, and I think I will cover those in another tutorial because it can be a bit more advanced.
Repeat announcement. Button.
Repeat announcement. That will repeat anything that that Loadstone has last said, like the last point announced, etc. It'll be repeated and shown on screen.
GPS info.
GPS
button.
info.
Accuracy 10 meters. Vertical accuracy 39.4 feet. Heading accuracy 20 degrees.
So as you can hear, that says the GPS's accuracy, horizontal and vertical, and the heading accuracy, which is the accuracy of the magnetic compass on the iPhone.
Course and speed. Button. Course unavailable. Speed unavailable. Heading west. True heading northwest.
Okay, so the course is right now the course and speed are unavailable because obviously the phone isn't moving. And the course is your course over ground. So when you're in motion, that's the direction you're heading. And the speed, well, it is how fast you're moving over ground. And the heading is the magnetic heading of the compass, so that basically the top of the phone. And the true heading is the heading adjusted with correction for magnetic north, and that's one that's most often used with relation to points. So we go to
position. Button.
Position.
Latitude 49 degrees 12 minutes 38.24 seconds north. Longitude 122 degrees 55 minutes 15.93 seconds west. Altitude 380.2 feet.
Okay, that is the current position, our latitude, longitude, and altitude. And you'll notice that I have my altitude set to feet because, well, that's just me, and I understand altitude in feet better than meters. That's a setting that's configurable within the settings pane, which I'll cover in some later tutorial.
Show closest point. Button.
Now, the show closest
Actions
point
available.
It'll show, if you just tap this right now, it will show the closest point in any direction. So we'll try that.
Ash Street and 5th Avenue, 27 meters at 8 o'clock.
So Ash Street and 5th Avenue, but you can also go
ahead
if you swipe up,
left, right, behind,
and behind, so you can show the closest point in those directions. When you're not moving, the directions are related to the true heading, or where the top of the phone is pointing, and when you are in motion, the directions are related to the course. So, and then when there is a point that, like we've just shown, the Ash Street and 5th Avenue, that is below these 4 buttons with the
Ash Street and 5th Avenue.
Swipe
up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate.
That is between the buttons, repeat announcement, etc. buttons along the top row and the closest point action. And when there is a point in there, you can do a swipe up action.
Check.
You can check. Lock.
Show neighborhood.
Show the neighborhood around that particular point.
Delete.
Or delete that point from the database.
Show details.
Show details.
Activate. Default.
And if you activate, it'll show the distance again.
Ash Street and 5th Avenue, 27 meters at 8 o'clock.
Okay, and another thing to do here is to show
details. Point details. Navigation.
This tells you everything you want to know about the point that may be stored in the database.
Heading. Primary information. Heading. Display name. Ash Street and 5th Avenue. Address.
Okay.
Swipe up or down to select a custom action.
There's no address currently within this point.
Category. Intersection.
Category. So that's the points category, and it's an intersection.
Name. Ash Street at 5th Avenue.
Right.
Latitude. 49.2103816.
So the point's latitude.
49 degrees 12 minutes 30. Longitude.
Longitude shown in a couple of different formats.
Accuracy. 0 meters.
The accuracy that the point was saved at. 0 means that the accuracy isn't known.
Status. Public.
That's a public point. The status can be private, public, or restricted. A private point you would use if you were, I don't know, saving a location like your own home that you didn't want shared with the rest of the world.
637861522.
Should have said ID there, but that's the point's unique ID.
User ID,
and the user ID is just the user that saved that particular point.
Heading.
And tags can contain almost anything else about the point that you might want to save.
Selected. Navigation.
And in this case, there
tab.
isn't anything.
1 of 4.
So we can get back out of
122
this.
degrees 55 minutes. Navigation. Ash Street and 5th Avenue. Show closest point.
So below that,
button.
there is
Show neighborhood. Button.
Show Neighborhood, which is the way to explore the various points in your current area to a radius of about 500 meters by default, but that's also configurable.
Selected. Navigation. Ash Street and 5th Avenue.
no.
Show close. Show neighborhood.
So we'll go into Show Neighborhood for the moment.
Neighborhood. Navigation.
And let's
Back
see
button.
what's around us.
Neighborhood. Heading.
Heading.
Refresh. Button.
That will the refresh button will refresh the neighborhood display. So if you start showing the neighborhood and then start moving and you want to refresh that, that's the button you could use.
Ash Street and 5th Avenue. 26 meters at 8 o'clock.
Okay, so it's 26
Slide up or
meters
down to
from when
select a
it
custom
last-
New Westminster Professional Building. 117 meters at 3 o'clock. CML Healthcare Incorporated. 118 meters at 3 o'clock.
See,
Slide up or down to select a custom action, then double tap to activate.
and the same actions will be available for points within this screen as there was for that last point menu. So we'll go out of there
Navigation. Show locked point. Dimmed.
for now. Show
Button.
locked point and
Show next checkpoint. Dimmed. Button.
okay, those options I'll cover in a tutorial about checkpoints. So
Save current location. Button.
and save current location. I'll go into this screen for now.
Geocode. Save current location. Back button.
This is the screen that you'd use to save a point. Like if you find something that's of interest to you and you want to save that as a point, then you go into this screen. And what it will do is it will try to fill in some fields for you if possible using the internet for geocoding, which may or may not produce any results.
Save current location. Heading.
So we have
Save. Button.
a save button that you can tap when you're finished.
Primary information. Heading.
Primary information.
Name. 451-527 Ash Street, New Westminster.
Okay.
Text field.
So that's the name that it's
Double tap to
defaulted
edit.
to from geocoding, and it's an address that's at least close to this area, but probably not quite right. So the odds are you'd want to clear that name and enter your own.
Category. Point of interest.
The category lets you set what kind of point this is, and I'll go into that.
Select category. Back
So
button.
you can select.
Select category. Address. Agriculture. Amenity.
See, you can select from the various addresses.
Agriculture. Address.
So let's say that it was an address. You could go,
Save current location. Back button. Latitude.
Okay.
49. Status. Public. Category. Address.
the category is now set to address.
Status. Public.
Status would be public, and
Double
that's
tap to
probably what it
change
would be
value.
for most points, unless you are saving a private point.
Latitude. 49. 2. 1. 0.
Latitude has
6,
already
1,
been filled
1,
in.
8.
That's the
Longitude.
point's coordinates.
Minus 100. Accuracy. 10.
And the
Text
accuracy
field.
level at which you've currently
Double tap
saved.
to edit.
That's within 10 meters indoors at the moment.
Update coordinates. Button.
You can use the update coordinates button if you want to start entering in a point's information while you're on the move. Let's say you know you're coming up to something, and then when you do finally arrive at the coordinates you want to save, you can hit the update coordinates button here.
Tags. Heading.
Tags is where you can enter in anything and everything about a point, and I'll cover that in a more advanced tutorial because there are dozens of tags. But let's see if it entered anything.
Add tag. Button. Country. Canada.
Country, Canada. So it's
Slide
already
up or
filled
down to
that
select
in.
a custom street. Ash Street.
Ash Street, that's right.
Postcode. V3M.
Okay,
Slide up or
it's
down to select a
giving us
custom
a partial
action.
postal
Then double.
code.
House number. 451-527.
Okay, so it's given us a
Slide up or down to
partial
select a custom
addresses,
action. City.
are filled
New
in.
Westminster.
and that's right.
Selected. Navigation.
So right now we're
Tab.
going to back
1
out
of
so
4.
we don't actually save this point.
Find point. Button.
Okay, find point is the other option that you can use to find a point of interest. So what you do is go into here.
Search field is editing.
Okay,
Search.
and you can type
Insertion
in
point at
your
start.
search term. Let's say, what search term should we put in here?
Space.
Post office.
N.
Okay.
P. P. I. O. O. D.
Ah.
Z. Shift. S. S. T. T. Space. Space. P. O. O. G. F. 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 I. I. Space. C. C. B. E.
And
Search.
we'll set it on its way. It might,
Search.
depending...
Search.
No, search.
Search.
Come on.
Settings. Tab.
Now, depending on the number of points in your database or databases you have active at the time, the search may actually take a few seconds, and it also depends on the speed of your phone. So this is a 5S, so it doesn't go necessarily as fast as a
Settings. Tab. Extras. Databases.
Hold on.
12 results. Heading.
Okay, here we go. So it did find some results for post office.
Post office. Belmont Market. 165 meters at 1 o'clock.
And that's right. And
Actions.
that's-
Post office. Canada Post. 1.13 kilometers at 5 o'clock.
Okay, so
Actions available.
it has found some post offices within the area, and you can configure the search radius. By default, I think it's set to 20 kilometers, but that's configurable as well. And the same actions are available for points in this list as are available for the points in the show neighborhood. So we'll go out of here.
Navigation.
And one other
Find
function
point.
that people...
Selected. Where am I? Button.
See, where am I is the function of pretty much absolute last resort, because this one requires an internet connection, and according to the documentation, it talks to a server, it doesn't say which one, to get the information about your current location. So let's say you have no data loaded for where you are at the moment, you can use this function.
451-527 Street, New Westminster.
And that's pretty much all that it gives you for that. It's kind of the minimum amount of information, but if all else fails, you can, and you have an internet connection, you can try that function. So that's the basic functions on the navigation screen. There's a lot more things I can cover later, but that should be enough to get you started and able to use Loadstone, at least in its basic form.
Comments, questions, our website, loadstone-gps.com, our Facebook page, you can access from our website. We're also on Twitter at LoadstoneGPS. And there's also always good old-fashioned email.
And of course, go purchase the app if you haven't already. There's always that.
Stay tuned for more tutorials.
All right.